Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, cats and dogs, and everybody else. I hope that you are all well this evening. We are back here at the beautiful Croatian track of Dragon Trails Gardens Reverse for the second installment of Sector 1, Season 9, Round 6. We had some brilliant racing last week, and I must say I am looking forward to it continuing on tonight because watching these guys in some practice lobbies during the week, they are phenomenally quick. And from what I can tell, it's going to be a pretty hot battle to get oneself onto the podium tonight. My name, of course, is Carbon Boy, and joining me in the comms box for the Division 2 race is none other than a Renegade himself. Mr. Renegade, how are you this evening?
Not too bad, mate. Yourself?
I am very, very good, thank you. I am very much looking forward to the racing tonight.
Oh, you're not the only one. I was watching some of these boys earlier, and they're pulling in some pretty quick time. So
Yes, it does make you feel a little. I'm not sure if inadequate is the right word, but slow would probably be a better word. You think you're going quick, and then these guys go out and do a lap a second and a half faster, and it's.
and you think, what the hell?
Yep, yep. But that's fine. That's fine. That's why these guys are, Div 2 and Div 1, and we are not. But that's okay. We can deal with that. Now, we'll
And
just
then we
take
throw in
a.
the added measure of rain, which will really throw a spanner in the if rain happens to appear.
Indeed, indeed. Now, we'll just take a quick look at the track map here tonight. Oh, by the way, good evening to everybody in the YouTube chat. Thank you for jumping in and saying g'day. We've got Mr. Robert Rice. We've got Rainbow Socks. I love those socks. Lenosis, you should be practicing, not YouTube chatting. Mr. Bubcrack, good evening. Good doc, hello, sir. Debrev, g'day, g'day, g'day. The Prospector, you should also be practicing. Get out of the YouTube chat. And the Stranger, hello, hello, hello. Now, having a look at the track map tonight, it is 29 laps here tonight. It is an evening time of day, so it's a bit of a dark start, and it just gets darker. We've got 2 times tyre wear and 5 times fuel usage, and there is a 6 litres per second refuel rate tonight. Tyres that you can choose, well, Racing Softs are locked in, but you also do have, thankfully, the option of the intermediates or the wets should that wet weather choose to rear its ugly head. I was not expecting it to last week, and I got the short end of the stick on that one, along with a few other drivers, but unfortunately, that is the way the cookie crumbles in that regard. Now, I suppose going off of that, you have a couple of options really when it comes to strategy. You can either do the it's not going to rain and I'm going to send it strategy of 10, 10 and 9. Or you can do the slightly more cautious anticipating a change in weather strategy of doing a 12, 12 and then 5 stint. And presumably that 5-lap stint would be on the intermediate tyres, pending any weather. Now, there are, of course, advantages and disadvantages to either of those strategies. If you guess wrong, you're in for a bad time. But if you guess right, you could be in the box seat for a podium position as... If my memory serves me correctly, both Freelix and VF did last week in the Division 3 race. So congrats to those guys.
I was in that race with Freelix, yes.
Yep, they both nailed the strategy and the decision-making process and reaped the benefits of it.
I think Freelix off memory, I believe he ended up finishing second.
Yes, he did. There was only a couple of thousandths
tight
in it between him and VF. We shall just take a quick look at the points tonight. Where are we? I've got to remember to push the right button. So there we go. We've got the point standings with... I can actually barely read that, to be perfectly honest, so I will just let you guys have a good look at that. because I am not doing great at this. I'm still getting myself together, but you know, we will get there in the
That's
end.
the team points.
That is most definitely the team points. So there we go. In first position, I have a bigger image now. We've got Barocchi 05 Sim Racing on 535 points. In second place, my boys over at APR Motorsport, 477. Third place, nipping at the heels, is a Black Rose on 418. Not far behind them at all is Lightning Motorsport, P4, 409. Followed by Dadson, Doghouse, Hooncorp, Kraken, and Blacklight, CP Motorsports. Bit surprising to see them that far down the orders. Then we've got Revolution E Motorsports, Symmetry Motorsports, Switchblade. Struggling a little bit there, but be nice to see them get a little bit further up the points table throughout the season. And rounding out the 14th is a Red Mist, who are unfortunately no longer with us. And we shall now switch over to the category 2 points, because, sorry, the category 1 points. So there we have at the moment. We've got in Division 2 tonight, leading the way is Heafy. Very close on his heels is Diswood from CP Motorsports. Now, both of those guys will be looking for a very strong finish tonight to catapult them up into Division 1, because they, well, currently Heafy is equal with points with GTR, who is in Division 1. So, pending results tonight, there may be some shuffling around. We've got Tim Durags, now as a privateer, along with Levenspiel. We've got Gur for Doghouse Motorsport, Blind Man and Hodes for Hooncorp, Mr. Bumcrack, Thunder Artsy. We've got the Taxman, aka Racing Accountant, Scooter 82 for Dadson. After a bit of a hiatus, has come back to join us and has jumped back in and has found his groove relatively quickly. Mr. Boy Bagum, who's having a quiet season this season over at Black Rose, but don't discount him out of the race results just yet. Rightio, so I think that's enough talking from us. How about we kick off into qualifying?
Let's get this show on the road.
I like it. I like it. So, ladies and gentlemen in the YouTube chat, it's a pleasure having you here all this evening. If you could do me a favor and punch that like button, hit the subscribe if you have not already. Do all the good things so the lovely Google algorithm does its thing and maybe gets our videos a little bit more prominently displayed. Alrighty. Just got the drivers leaving the grid, leaving the pits at the moment. There we go. First out on track, if I can push the right button. There we go. We've got Sways, the privateer. In, I believe that is a... I'm pretty sure that livery is modelled out after a V8 supercars of some description, but I'm not enough of a motorsports buff to know that. So,
might be the
YouTube chat.
The Orcon.
YouTube chat, this is where you come in to, I can just see the good doctor typing furiously at me at the moment. But he has stepped aside to let Heafy in his beautiful Brawn GP inspired privateer livery slide on past. It's quite glorious in its fluoro green, I'd say fluoro green.
A yellowy green, yeah.
Fluoro snot, I'm going to affectionately call it. And then third out on track at the moment for Black Rose Racing is Mr. Boy Bagum, looking very solid, coming through the Pirelli Parabolica onto the main straight. Next up is Artsy in the bright pink Symmetry. Please tell me that's a Symmetry. Symmetry livery.
Yeah.
Next up on track for Hoon Corp is Blind Man. Beautiful Penrite sponsored mobile. Sixth out on track for Datsun Racing is Mr. Scooter McGavin, as affectionately dubbed by Ghost of the Golden Mike. I am shamelessly ripping off that nickname, and I have no problem in doing so. Running the bright yellow Liquid Solutions livery is Tinder Rags. P8 for Kraken Esports. There's a lot of yellow going on the grid tonight. Is Mr. Bumcrack, team owner for Kraken Esports. Running behind him in the bright green Liquid Solutions is Levenspiel. 10th on the track at the moment, also for Hoon Corp, is Hodes. Running very, very closely behind him at the moment for CP Motorsports in their rather different Aussie Tired sponsored livery is Diswood. He is definitely one to watch tonight.
I actually quite like that design too, to be honest.
I'm a fan as well. And rounding out tonight for Doghouse, for the North Queensland Party Hire sponsored entry is Gurr.
Starting to roll in.
Alright, so first to the top of the table is Boy Bagum, dropping a first flyer of a 130.8. Oh, there we go. Tinder Rags instantly tops that, goes at 10th faster. He's not here to procreate with arachnids tonight. He's dropped a 130.28. Woody has slotted himself into a P2 with a 130.7 first flyer. He is very, very sideways. That is, he's struggling for grip coming out of the tabletop there. It's not going well for him, to be honest. Scooter 82 puts himself into P4. He's also in the 130s, just with a 130.946. Tell you what, these times are... Oh, and he's purple too. As he comes into the Sawtooth chicane. We might just ride on board with him through here. As he comes towards the Pirelli Parabolica, you want to hang it out wide. You want to delay the turn in. Clicks up into 5th, hits the apex, runs out wide as we see... I think that was Artsy heading in for a fresh set of boots. As Scooter goes to the top of the table with a 130.002. Just missing out on breaking the 130 mark. And he has subsequently binned it at the tabletop. That is very unfortunate, very unfortunate. My apologies, Scooter. There might have been a bit of the commentator's curse going on there. I'm sorry. To the
coming in for a new set of boots.
Interesting strategy. Who else have we got going? Got Mr. Boy Bagum still sitting there in P4. Levenspiel.
Second's just gone a 10th put up in the through that jagged bit through the middle.
Through the jagged bit, that is Blind Man. Well, we've got both a corner name and a driver tonight who have the same name. Turn 7 at Dragon Trail Gardens is named after Hoon Corp driver Blind Man, or quite possibly the other way around, who really knows. As he comes into Slingshot, no, that's not Slingshot, that is the Sawtooth, the lovely Sawtooth-shaped chicane. Might just ride on board with Tinder Rags here, I think. We'll try again.
He's in every bit of the track.
And one of the Hoon Corp guys is heading into the pits for a fresh set of tyres. Tinder Rags crosses a line, 130.087. So also not...
065, very close. Oh,
As Scooter McGavin comes into the pits for a fresh set of boots. Just continue our ride on board. Tim Durags coming into Istanbul. Clips the apex, avoids the third one. Gives it the beans. Coming into Blind Man, probably because it's a very, very blind corner as you come up over the hill. Then into the left-hander of Salsa. And coming through the very unoriginally named turn 9 into the hard braking zone, into the hairpin, aka the slingshot. Probably named because if you get it wrong, it slingshots you straight into that outside wall. Down the back straight. How's he travelling through the second sector? Oh, he's a little bit down. On the brakes, into the sawtooth. Got to be very careful on those curbs. They can send you to the moon if you are not careful. Running very wide there. Using every bit of the track. I've seen him. Oh, no, there we go. He's decided I'm going to come into the pits. Oh, it's a very late decision. Levin Spiel currently sitting in P3. Can't improve. He's was a second down on his best time there. He's also in the 130s. Currently sitting behind the plumber. Probably looking for a cheeky slipstream.
oh God.
Diswood coming across the finish line. Can he improve? Oh, no he can't. Still a little bit down on his best time. Sitting in P5 at the moment.
Oh, bum crack goes off track.
Just see that in the background there as Artsy goes flying on by. Currently sitting in P6.
GMR Bradley just out pipped Durags by 0.002 of a second.
There we go. One of our newest drivers in Sector 1, Brad, aka Sways, puts himself into P2. He's certainly here to make a very strong statement in his first ever official Sector 1 race.
Showing he's not here to mess around.
He's as expected. We've got Scooter 8. Well, not expected, but he's up there in the table. Scooter currently sitting on pole. Nobody's managed to crack into the 129s just yet. Boybagum down in P8. Hodes P9. And we're on our final lap of qualifying, so it's clutch time for these boys. Bumcrack coming across the line. He's had a 2-minute lap. Yep, that's not going to go well as he has finished qualifying. So we'll run through. Who have we got still? Sways is still running.
Oh, car parked at the coming up to the Wyman turn.
Coming through Sector 1, he was only 300ths down on his best time, so there's still time for him to improve. He's only, 600ths behind Scooter on pole, so if he has a very hot second and third sector, he could pip Scooter to the post for pole position at the last minute.
There's Heafy's qualifying done. He's just picked up a half-second penalty.
Yep, that's a great way to do bad things for your qualifying session. So we're following Sways around the Pirelli Parabolica onto the main straight. Can he do it? Oh, Tim Durags! Tim Durags has done it at the last minute, has come out and cracked a 129.913 to take pole position off Scooter.
Pull it out at the clutch.
That is what you definitely call a clutch lap. He's not here to muck about.
Unfortunately for Bradley, now that puts him down. Swayze, that drops him down to the second row. He's definitely going to be one to watch out for.
Well, well, well. That's Let's take a look at those qualifying results there. So we've got Tinder Rags, the privateer, sitting on pole position with fastest lap of a 129.913. A mere 900ths behind him for Dadson Racing is a Scooter 82. On the second row of the grid, another privateer. Or two privateers on the second row in the form of Swayze AU and Heafy, followed by Lemonspiel and Diswood. And fourth row of the grid is Artsy and Boy Bagub. And the fifth row of the grid is Hodes and Bumcrack. And rounding out our grid tonight is Gur and Blind Man. Now those lap times there are still fairly quick, so I would not discount them entirely, because qualifying pace is one thing, race pace is another thing entirely, and then you throw weather into the equation, and, well, pretty much anything can happen. So, ladies and gentlemen in the chat, throw in some podium predictions for me, just the top three, no particular order, just tell me who you think is going to end up on the podium tonight. What are your thoughts, Renegade? Got any firm favourites for tonight?
Oh, I mean, it's going to be a hard call. I mean, they're all pretty quick laps. I mean, Durags, after pulling a 29, he's certainly going to be one to look out for. I mean, Scooter's up there as well. At the end of the day, I think weather will play a factor in as to who will take the checkered flag. Like you said earlier, predicting when to come in to put those intermediates on if it does decide to go wet. That's going, as we saw in the Division 3 race last week, that's going to be the factor.
Yep, that'll be the make or break situation for a few drivers tonight, I think. So we've had thrown into the chat, which is rather interesting considering he's in the driving lobby tonight, is Heafy. His prediction for the podium tonight is Durag, Swayze and Artsy. Ah, you're not backing yourself, mate. Why not? Have some confidence. Because, I mean, you're P4 at the moment, mate. Like, yeah, surely you'd back yourself for a podium. Madrix jumped into the chat as well. He's got Durags, Levenspiel and Boybagum on the podium. I like it. I like it. He's gone for the dark horse, I think. Now,
I was about to say that, yeah, like Boybagum for a podium from down starting in 8th. That's a big call.
Well, I mean, I've spent some time driving with Boybagum, and he's certainly not slow, and his racecraft is very good, and he seems
it's not impossible as well, because Freelix did it last week. I believe he started from 8th or 9th as well and finished 2nd, so...
It is certainly possible, so I like that prediction, actually. Excel's thrown in his prediction as well. Scooter, Swayze, Heafy. It sounds like it might be in that particular order. I am not sure, but how about enough talking out of us, and we just get straight into the racing? How's that sound?
Sounds good to me.
I like it.
The daughter's been at the big start button tonight. She's painted it a lovely bright pink.
Fair enough. I'm all for that. Makes it very easy to see.
All right, let's get him going.
I like it. Let's do it. All right, ladies and gentlemen, sit back, get comfy. Hopefully you've got snacks. Hopefully you've got drinks.
Who are we going on board with from the start?
I'm not going to go on board with anybody, I don't think. All right.
I'm going to jump on board with the privateer. Mr. Swayze.
Alright, we have one light, we have 2 lights, 3 lights, 4 lights, 5 lights. And they're underway! It looks like a very, very clean start. Oh, there's a bit of jostling going on. Scooters try to hold the outside around the tabletop. Tim Durags is having none of it, holds a very clean inside line. Sways, still in P3. Levenspiel, P4. RC's dropped a spot back to... Nope, sorry, that was Heafy that was P4. It looks like he's dropped back quite a few positions.
Yeah, he was turned around at turn 2, I believe.
Oh dear. I wonder if that was self-induced or whether Woody's behind him. That may have been some involvement. We will.
Might have been.
I will save that in the replays. Oh, and it's never mind. It's getting very spicy up the front with Swayze chucking it down the inside of Scooter at the slingshot. I'm not quite sure about that, but keeps it going. Tim Durags, a couple of tenths out front. Levenspiel is not that far behind the top 3, so if things get a bit spicy between them, he is certainly there to pick up the pieces.
Hodge is looking racy behind Artsy.
Very spicy first lap, I think, especially for the lower order guys. Boy Bagum, he's off to a good start to make that podium prediction. He's made his way up to P5 from P8 start, so he will be
Lineman
cheering.
shooting it up the inside of Bumcrack along with the banker. The Plumber has dropped 2 spots as a result of that.
So there's an interesting variety of lines going through Istanbul for all the drivers. Some like to hang it out wide, and then there are others who they're quite a fan of clipping every single apex. I mean, I suppose it doesn't really matter how you go about it as long as you don't go wide and into the wall, which is a scenario that I'm very familiar with.
Oh,
Oh, Boy Bagum getting a little bit loose.
2 Hooncourt boys are close together. Get a bit racy.
Could see a little bit of teamwork going on here between Hodes and Blindman as they potentially try to chase down Artsy and Boy Bagum. Are you privy to any team orders in the Hooncorp camp, Renegade?
No, I can't say that I am at the moment. The only thing I could guess that Nismo would be hoping for was that neither of them come to grief with each other. He'd be biting his fingernails right now.
That is correct. The number 1 rule in motorsport is don't hit your teammate. We'll jump back up the front. Tim Durags and Sways, they've pulled a little bit of a gap out to Scooter. It's pretty much at the edge of slipstream range. Sways is closed up within half a second of Tim.
It's just over a second and climbing gap back to 3rd place.
And there's
Swayze on a purple.
Another 2-second lap back to Levenspiel, who still has Boy Bagum within a second for company. It's a very spicy battle here for 6th, 7th and 8th between the... Hodes has made his way past. Both Hodes and both the Hooncourt boys have made their way past Artsy.
Oh, we must just miss that.
Looks to be struggling a little bit, I think, Artsy. He's now got...
Now he's got
Gurr going down the inside into the sawtooth. Gurr backs out of it. Yep. You want to be right alongside there. Oh, here we go.
wiser heads prevail there with Gurr.
Diswood on the comeback charge. He's made his way back up to P10. He is not here to muck about. I think that was a less than ideal turn one.
Heafy's on the back of Bumcrack.
Now let's see if I can catch that on a replay. I think now would be a good time to see if we can see what happened to Diswood on lap 1. No, we cannot, because
Something's happened with Swayze. He's now under attack from Scooter. Dropped a couple of seconds from Durags.
oh, it's very spicy back here in the P8, 9, 10, 11 kind of scenario at the moment. Diswood and Bumcrack going side by side through Blind Man and T9. And Gurr around the outside of the slingshot. That was brave. Almost makes it stick too, with Woody getting very, very squirrely. Trying to put the power down coming out of the corner.
Scooter getting by, oh no, side by side with Swayze through Sawtooth.
Oh, there we go. He's taken that P2 back.
Awesome move
Let's
by Scooter.
let's see if we can catch that on the Liquid Solutions action replay.
That was a very good move.
Oh, that was quite nice down the inside, and then holds it around the outside using every bit of the track on the exit. Goes ahead into the Pirelli Parabolica. Very nice indeed.
Textbook.
Now Swayze has got Levenspiel for company. Scooter goes purple through the first sector. Fastest lap currently being held by Swayze with a 1:30.471. Tim Durags though is he's putting the carrot in the box, so to speak, to establish dominance here in this race early on. He's pulled out a 3.7 second gap. But he's got a very hard charging Scooter 82. He's gone purple through that second sector. Boibagum still in P5. It's got a little bit of clear air front and back. He's got geez, I nearly called that his teammate, because those Black Rose and Hooncourt cars, you look at them very quickly and it's very, very similar. So my apologies to the Hooncorp and the Black Rose team owners if I happen to confuse your drivers tonight. Your liveries are both brilliant, but they are scarily similar. It's Artsy. Currently sitting in P7. He's got a very racy looking Diswood not far behind him. He's currently in P8. And he's dragging Blind Man with him as well. And Gurr is also along for the ride. Sitting in P10 at the moment. Now we're on to lap 6, so we are theoretically halfway through the driver's first stint. So how about we do a tyre and fuel update, Renegade? What do you say?
Yeah, it sounds alright.
Let's do it.
I was just having a flick through all that, because I was actually thinking the same thing a lap or two ago. They're all pretty much using their tyres. Even, I mean, Scooter and Bradley are the most. They've really chewed into their front tyres. Durags has really looked after his really well. There's not much wear front and rear. Fuel is just over half a tank.
Yep. How's Scooter looking for fuel?
Scooter's just fraction under the half a tank, but his tyres are a little bit worse off than Durags. Levenspiel's another one that's looked after his front tyres really well. It's not showing a lot. Fuel again is just under half a tank. Swayze's used a little bit more fuel.
Yep, Swayze has dropped down to P4, unfortunately.
And his front tyre's really chewing out. He's almost, front left one is almost at, say, about 45% worn.
Oof.
So he's really chewing into that.
Boybagum.
He's fuels at half. He's got half a tank. Tyre wear's a little bit better than Swayze in front of him, so expect some moves there, possibly soon, with the better tyre wear. Hodes has looked after his fuel. He's still got just over half a tank. Tyres is looking really good, probably about 15 to 20% worn.
Scooter's had a bit of a moment by the looks of it.
He has too. He's dropped down to 5th.
I would say he's had a bit of a moment at the Sawtooth chicane.
Woodsy. His tyres are about 25%.
Sorry, I'm just gonna go to Scooter for this tabletop moment. Woody is looking very aggressive on Hodes. He wants that position. He wants to follow Scooter. He does not want to sit around. All right, well, kicking back to the tire and fuel update. Where were we? We were.
So we got Woodsy's
P7.
He's got about a third of it, just over a third of a tank, so he's really chewed into his fuel.
He's gone the aggressive strategy.
Tyres are about 20%, 25% worn.
Oh yeah, he's doing well. How's Blind Man P8 at the moment? How's he looking?
So we go down to Blind Man. His tyres are about 30%. Again, he's really chewing into his fuel. He's got probably about a third of a tank left as well. The Banker, he's really looked after his tyres. They're at about 20%. Fuel is about halfway between a quarter and half.
So was that Gurr in P9?
Yeah, that would be Gurr in P9, yes.
Bump crack and Artsy. Bump crack
slipping up
sends it
the
down
inside
the inside.
of Artsy. Again, has looked after his tyres marginally well. They're at about 25-30%. Fuel is just over a quarter of a tank left, so getting light on the fuel. Artsy in 11th. He's really looked after his fuel. He's just got under half a tank. His front left tyre though is getting a bit suspect. It's around 45-50% worn.
And poor Heafy at the moment, P12. He's a fair way off the back of the pack to like
fair way
13
off the back.
seconds.
Yeah.
Lap 7 he had a 146 laps, so he's obviously had a bit of an incident.
Had a moment. Yeah, his tyres are about 45-50% and not much under half a tank. So, a few of the boys have looked after their fuel really well. The most one I'm surprised with at the moment is actually Hodesy. He's the one that looks like he's really looked after his fuel the most. So I expect some inroads from Hodesy when the pit stops roll around.
Alrighty, that was our tyre and fuel update brought to you by APR Automotive. You are in safe hands. And back up the front, get my driver's names all mixed up. Tim Durags, he is definitely stamping his authority on this race. He is out front to the tune of 9 seconds over Levenspiel at the moment, who has made his way into P2. The, well, now privateers, but former teammates who've obviously been working together still on their race strategy and their car setups.
And the
got P3.
Boybagum prediction might come to fruition as well. Finds himself up into 4th spot.
Yep, he's doing a great job at the moment. He's managed
just over a second behind Swayze.
He's managed to keep himself almost within slipstream range of Swayze, and he's just out of slipstream range of Scooter, who is, I think, bringing Diswood with him. Diswood doing a great job on the comeback drive. He's into P6 after being basically dead last, I think, on lap 1. So if yours truly had not stuffed up the replay, we could have had a look at what happened there. Unfortunately, I cannot do that. So we're on lap 10 now, so these drivers are going to be looking for a dry race strategy. They will be pitting at the end of this lap, I would imagine. So that will be the telltale sign of who is running which strategy tonight.
Fuel-wise, I think Hodie might be predicting it to go wet with his... He's, along with Artsy as well, they are the best on their fuel at the moment. Oh,
I'm having a look at the clouds in the background, and they are looking a little bit ominous, so I have the feeling there might be a few team owners in the pit garage doing a bit of a rain dance tonight.
Looks like Gurr may have pitted. He's back to having a full tank with a fresh set of tyres on. Lineman and bum crack in the pits.
There we go. Those guys have pulled the trigger on the dry weather race tonight. They will certainly be hoping for that. Well, things are getting pretty spicy here between Woody and Scooter. And it's going to be a three-way battle very, very shortly, because they are making time hand over fist over Boybagum, who seems to be struggling through this first sector. Diswood is looking for a way past. Scooter going defensive at Slingshot.
Oh, Diswood's wide.
Diswood is very, very wide. Bit of a
be
moment
under attack
there.
from Hodes in a second.
Let's see if we can catch that on our replay and see exactly what happened there, if I can actually get things to work. There we go. Look at that. Scooter's taken the defensive position. Oh, I think Woody may have just missed a brake marker there. He's used the track runoff. He's come back on safely. That's fine. Hasn't impeded. Beautiful.
Swayze, Scooter and Woodsy all into the pits. And Boybagum up to third.
That did cost him a bit of time. Boybagum, he's looking to make that podium prediction come true. Tim Durags has extended his lead over Levenspiel out to 11 seconds, so this bloke has just completely checked out, I think, for tonight. I don't want to curse him and say lock it in, but he is certainly looking very strong here tonight. Scooter 82 is down in P7. Has he made a pit stop?
Yes, I believe he did.
Right, I missed that.
Yeah, he's back to near a full tank of fuel.
Yeah, so they've all spread themselves out fairly evenly here. Hodes, P4, got a bit of a gap.
Doing well.
Over his teammate. No, that's not his teammate. There we go. I told you I was going to muck it up at some point.
Levenspiel in the pits. Boybagum following. Hode staying out.
What's Artsy going to do? Has he already pitted?
Let me check.
Artsy's currently P3.
No, I don't know actually. No, I don't think he has, but
Well, it'd be easy to tell. He's not
wanting
going to
too
have
soon.
not going to have much fuel if he's on lap 13.
He's got just under a quarter of a tank of fuel left.
Alright, so probably fair to say he has not pitted yet, so he's going for the rain dance strategy. So it's all going to be a little bit jumbled up here on track until our second pit stop, when things start to sort themselves out a little more. As Tim Durags comes through the sawtooth. We'll keep an eye on him. We'll see if he pits this lap or whether he's super good on fuel and can go more than 13 laps, which, if he can, I will be genuinely amazed.
Say Artie might be pitting this lap given his
There we go. Tim Durags is into the pits.
It's going to be screaming.
He's doing the rain dance strategy. Hodes is just coming into the Pirelli Parabolica right
He
now.
has really looked after those tyres. Durags has. They're only about 50% worn. They were.
But he did come into the pits with 2% fuel, so he did not really have much of an option in regards to stopping. As Hodes for Hooncorp inherits the lead of the race.
Go boy.
I do believe he was one of the early stoppers.
No, he hasn't pitted yet.
What? He's doing 14 laps on a tank of fuel. Wow. Okay. Right. Have you guys got like the Prius tune on those cars or something over at Hooncorp? Because that is not using a lot of fuel at all.
I was not expecting that myself.
Rightio.
And front left tyre, probably about 50 to 55% worn, so he's looked after him.
Tim Durags is back out on track, sitting in P3. So, Artsy's had a bit of a moment coming through Blind Man. Just clipping the outside of the track, kicking up a little bit of dirt. Not the end of the world, but that's not going to do him any favours.
His tyre is screaming at him.
Yeah, and it shows at Slingshot. It runs super wide, which lets Tim Durags run right down the inside, and thank you very much, back up into P2.
Hodes, he's extended his lead by another 3 seconds.
Heafy, currently sitting P4 on track.
Hodes pitting now with a 15-second gap.
He's done really well on his fuel. He's done an extra lap over Tim Durags and comes in with 1% more fuel. That's impressive. That's genuinely impressive.
That is.
Heafy comes into the pits now.
Play at the latter stages of the race too.
Heafy comes in
as well.
on 0. So Scooter crosses the finish line now. He's got Sways and 11 Spiel in hot pursuit, and Gurr currently sitting in P5 as well. He's brought himself up into this battle well and truly. He's having a sensational drive tonight.
He is.
Keep your eyes peeled, ladies and gentlemen. This could get quite spicy between Scooter and Sways. They've had a bit of battling to and fro tonight. And Scooter is currently purple through the first sector.
Shame I can't check to see how the weather is looking.
Yes, unfortunately that is one thing that I wish we could do as spectators, is bring up the weather radar so we can see exactly what is going on, but unfortunately we cannot.
We're not privy to that information. Swayze still sitting with the fastest lap.
This is a very spicy little battle pack down here. Who have we got here? We've got Levenspiel, Gurr, Diswood, and just still in touch, just within that that carrot dangling visual range is Boy Bagum. I've got the feeling that this 4th, 5th and 6th battle is going to rage on throughout this stint. Levenspiel, bright green privateer. Gurr in the not as bright green, but, well actually no, that's probably yellow. My eyes are not great.
Coming to a 5-car battle for second. They're all...
Oh, hello.
literally within 2 seconds of each other. The top, or from second through to sixth, they're within 2 seconds of each other.
Yeah, Tim Durags has completely checked out to the tune of 10.5 seconds. This man is putting on an absolutely phenomenal drive tonight.
Diswood and Gurr going at it.
Oh, Diswood. Oh, that was
close.
That is what you call a butt pucker moment.
And he's still got the pace to stick with him too. Well done, Woodsy.
Yep.
Didn't lose much time at all, if any.
The man is on a mission to get back into Division 1, and he needs a relatively strong finish tonight in order to make that happen. But I don't think Gurr is just going to give him the spot. I'm pretty sure that's not going to happen. Oh, bit of touching. Bit of touching. That's okay.
As long as it doesn't.
You can tell Woody is looking very, very racy right now. He knows he needs to get past Gurr.
Looking very aggressive here.
Just can't seem
Sticks
to
the
make
nose
it happen.
out. Will we see a move going into turn one?
He's right on that rear bumper coming around the Pirelli Parabolica. He pulls alongside. He wants it. He's got the inside line going into the tabletop. Can he make it stick?
And he does.
Oh, those brakes are glowing. Gurr wants to switch back, but not going to happen. Woody covers him off. Says thank you very much. Makes his way up to P5. Boy Bagum still doing his thing. P7 at the moment. Just nice and steady performance. Mr. Bumcrack, P8. Moved up a couple of spots from his, well, not so great qualifying. I think he might have been a little bit disappointed in that, but he's certainly putting on a very, very consistent lap time drive tonight. He's hovering in the 131s fairly steadily. Blindman and Hodes, two Hoon Corp teammates. Thank goodness I did not muck that up and include a Black Rose driver in that. P9, P10 at the moment. Artsy, P11. Probably not having as good of a drive tonight as he might have liked.
I'd say he'd be very disappointed with himself so far. We all know how quick he is.
He generally is lightning quick, but the lap times tonight seem to indicate he's probably not particularly comfortable with this track and or the setup that he's got in the car, which is a bit unfortunate. But it's nice to see that he's still putting his head down, getting it done, as he sets his fastest lap with a 1:31.840, which is pretty good considering the fastest lap for the race at the moment is a 1:30.471 set by Sways AU. And a little bit of TV time
that was
here.
set in the early stages, I believe, wasn't it?
I think so. A little bit of TV time here for Heafy, the privateer. Still running around, unfortunately, at the back of the grid. Had that horror lap early on in the race, and situation unknown exactly as what happened there, but it basically put an end to the aspirations. But he's actually making time up on the guys in front of him, so full credit to him. And we shall check back in. Tim Durags, Yep, he's 11 seconds out in front of a Scooter, who has a very comfortable 2-second margin back to P3 in the form of Sways. He may want to maintain that margin because Sways is bringing in a couple of guys with him in the form of Levenspiel and Diswood, who has managed to get himself within 6/10 of Levenspiel and appears to be, well, he's a man on a mission. He wants in that top five. Well, he's in the top 5 now, but I would dare say he would want a podium tonight. And the way that he's driving, he may just get it too.
Looking very racy. Within slipstream range of Levenspiel in front of him. Only half a second.
I'm just checking in on the YouTube chat, and Jim Bob has asked, how does the radar look? Well, mate, if any of the drivers had the radar up for us to look at, I would certainly tell you, but do any of the drivers have the radar up for you to look at, Renegade? I'm hoping
I'll
you
have
say
a quick
yes.
flick through.
Let's take a lap on board Diswood while we're here. Currently P5, right on the rear bumper of Levenspiel. Coming into turn 1, turn 2, aka the tabletop, closes up under brakes. No way through. You've got to hold a slightly wider line to give you a very quick exit. It's tucked into the slipstream. Coming down
none
the
of the
middle
drivers
straight,
are showing
going
their
forward.
radars. Only driver that has something different is who was it? Boybagum is
Through Istanbul, looking very clean. Up over the hill into Blind Man.
it has his fuel percentage showing. That's the only. Everyone else is showing only their
Through-
track map.
Through Salsa into T9. It's not quite close enough for a move here at Slingshot. Late apex here. Whoa, I was about to say good drive onto the back straight, but that was a bit of a squirrely moment. Lost a little bit of ground there. He might be disappointed with that. Hard onto the brakes. Don't hit
Three-way
that
battle
curb.
for third soon.
Going into Slingshot. Come out of the exit. Good traction's crucial. A little bit wiggly. Back a gear. Oh, he's into the pits on a lap 21. Oh, Woody obviously knows something we don't. So does Boybagum. Comes in with quite a lot of fuel on board. He's got 29%. Not bad at all.
I'm actually surprised at how many of these drivers are not using traction control as well.
Well, being Category 1,
Category 2. Oh yeah, Category 1, Division 2, yeah.
being
Sorry,
Cat
my
1,
bad there.
I would be expecting them to not be using traction control, to be perfectly honest. I mean, when it comes time for the rain to come down, I'm all for switching on traction control. Oh, here we go, Levenspiel's having a look at Sways. Coming through Slingshot, can't quite get it, but he's right on the rear bumper, coming down the back straight towards the Sawtooth chicane. Don't think he's going to be close enough for a move, but if you can make up some time, get a really good exit, you will have that draft all the way through the Pirelli Parabolica and onto the main straight.
I won't say which drivers, but there are 5 drivers that are actually using traction control.
Oops, Scooter's into the pits, as is Sways.
That's to be expected given the fuel level.
On lap 22, so it looks like those guys have gone for the non-rain dance strategy. Hodes inherits P3.
Good drive from the Hooncourt boy.
Boybagum has currently got his hands full with a very racy looking Woody, who would have just come out of the pits.
If this does rain, I would say watch out for Hodes.
If it does rain, I would say that would throw a massive spanner in the works for several drivers.
Hodes will not need to refuel. He looks like he's good to go to the end. Same with Scooter. Obviously he will be. He was just in the pits with Swayze. Boybagum looking very racy. Oh, sorry, Diswood looking racy behind Boybagum.
He is under a lot of pressure. Diswood down the inside at Slingshot.
Nice
Gets the drive out of the corner. That was beautiful.
This isn't finished. This is heating up down in the Sawtooth.
Boybagum does a smart thing, tucks in behind. Alright, let's take a look at that move by Woody on Boybagum at the Slingshot hairpin on our Liquid Solutions action replay. He's right on his bumper through Salsa in turn 9. And then just sticks it down the inside, hard on the brakes, hugging that apex, and very fortunately gets a good drive onto that back straight. If he didn't, Boybagum more than likely would have been able to take that position back. But
Narag's out to a massive lead now, almost to the tune of 19 seconds.
Wow. He is, yes, not mucking around tonight. And his lap times have been beautifully consistent. There's a 31.5, 31.2, 31.5, 30.9 just for fun, 31.3, 31 flat, 31 flat, 31 flat. The man's a metronome tonight, and a quick one too.
And with talking about consistency, his last lap time,
well, there we go.
31.377.
Levenspiel is into the pits.
It was only 4 thousandths of a second slower than his lap 19. So
Hodes
insanely.
Hodes inherits P2 at the moment. Lap 25. How is he looking for fuel and tyres at the moment? Hodes in P2.
Tyres at around about 35%. Fuel is just over a quarter of a tank.
So you reckon he's got enough to make it to the end of the race?
Well, it's only about 4 or 5 laps. I reckon he might, given the fact that I mean, he drove what, 14 laps on one tank.
Can he do 15? Ooh. I reckon he might be holding out for some weather.
He may.
As he's coming into Slingshot now. Scooter's P3 at the moment. He's got a fair bit of clear air behind Hodes, but he's only got 1.5 seconds back to Swayze. Hasn't been able to shake him. Levenspiel's P5. He's got Diswood for company. And Diswood has already done his second stop, so he doesn't need to pull into the pits again. Keep an eye on Hodes here, P2. He's just coming into the Pirelli Parabolica. He's hugging the inside. No.
The track is looking a bit slick.
Drifts out wide, and Hodes is going around again. Okay.
Down the back long straight, it's getting very dark and ominous.
He obviously knows something I don't. So you've got P5, P6, P7. You could throw a blanket over the three of them in the form of Levenspiel, Woody, and Boybagum. Levenspiel very defensive into turn 1.
A long way off the pace.
So they come into Istanbul. Levenspiel's very defensive. Woody's looking for a way around. Can't quite find it. Just has to tuck in and take his medicine through that 4 left-handers, which you consider
Durags
one
is
corner.
just checking out. He's now clear. And he's calling into the pits.
Well, with 1% fuel left, it doesn't really have much of a choice in that matter.
Toad's coming through Sawtooth.
Yeah, I reckon Durags has probably got a comfortable enough buffer to come out well ahead of Hodes. Scooter's still maintaining that 1 and a bit second gap back to Sways in P4. Levenspiel still has a very racy looking Woody on the rear bumper, and that's letting Boy Lagoon slowly make his way back into the equation. Lev's just done his fastest lap of the race with a 1:30.8, probably a good time to do it.
Scooter is really closed in unless Hodes has had a moment.
Sways has updated the fastest lap on lap 24 with a 1:30.223. That is absolutely cracking pace for a race lap.
Scooter's pulled in 5 seconds on Hodes.
I think Hodes might be on a massive fuel save. If he did 14 laps on his first stint, he might be going for the 1-stop tonight. Trying to pull 15 laps on a tank of fuel, that's ambitious, so I'll give him that.
Left-hand tyres, especially the front, it's down to about 45 to 50% worn. As he comes.
So that battle's fairly stable at the moment. Lev's having a rough time through the Sawtooth, and that's let Diswood right back up on him. I was just about to jump off this battle, and then goes and heats back up again.
Scooter has pulled in another 2 seconds.
I don't think he's going to be close enough for a move into the tabletop. It's 3/10. He will have to be an absolute monster on the brakes to get past. Unfortunately, he doesn't. Gur's doing really well tonight. He's made his way up to P8. He's got quite a fair bit of clear space between P7 in front and P9 behind. So it can be a bit lonely. Speaking of P9 behind, Artsy has Mr. Bumcrack there for company. 2 are going bumper to bumper towards Istanbul. Bumcrack shows a nose. Artsy's not having a bar of it.
He's going to be on for second. Down the long straights, half a second.
Oh, there we go.
Scooter has really pulled in.
Yep, I think Hodes might be on a major fuel save to try and get to the end of the race. He's got 1 more lap after this one. Will he be able to hold it? Will he be able to hold on to a podium?
Because we've got Swayze lurking in the background there too. This will be ongoing into turn 1.
As they start their final lap here at Dragon Trail Gardens, the rain that we were expecting has not reared its ugly head. There might be a few people cursing that, as Scooter makes the move into the tabletop and gets it done. I think Hodes might just be fuel compromised, and he can't really do much about that, unfortunately. All he could really do
15
now...
laps.
15 laps on a tank of fuel, like, make no
That is
mistake about it.
nuts.
That is a very commendable effort.
And to still pull off a podium, possibly.
And he's got 6 seconds back to Levenspiel, so provided he doesn't run out of fuel completely, he might have just pulled off an absolute masterstroke here tonight. But we can't take any credit away from this man, Tim DeRags. He has led from start to finish as he comes through the sawtooth for the final time, completely stamping his authority over the race tonight. Rounding out the Pirelli Parabolica and across the finish line to take the win. He will be a very happy man tonight, Tim DeRags, with a 15, call it 16 second gap back to P2. That is a phenomenal drive. P2 tonight, Scooter McGavin. I'm looking for a driver of the day tonight. For me, is Hodes bringing out P3. Levenspiel brings home P4. Diswood P5. Boy Bagum not far in tow. P6. Right behind him, Sways for P7. Gurr for P8. Whoa, Artsy and Bumcrack are having a drag race. Bumcrack gets him. Oh, I think Artsy's run out of fuel. Heafy got him as well. He's lost 2 spots on the final straight. Oh, that's horrible. And rounding out our race tonight in P12 is Heafy or Artsy.
Blind man.
That's the one. That's the one I was looking for. Rightio. Well, that was a spicier than expected finish to the race tonight. So while we go through the race results, people in the YouTube chat, if you would be so kind, throw in your Driver of the Day nominations. Mr. Renegade, have a think about your Driver of the Day nomination, and I will bring up the race results. So, P1 for the Privateer, Tim DeRags. P2, Scooter McGavin for Dadson Racing. P3 for Hooncorp is Hodes. P4 as a Privateer, Levenspiel. P5, Diswood for CP Motorsports. Boy Bagoom, P6 for Black Rose. P7 for another Privateer is Sways, who also takes away the fastest lap extra point with a 1:30.233 set on lap 24 from memory. And rounding up the top 8 is Gurr for Doghouse Motorsport. That was a fairly solid drive.
Something must have happened to Swayze on that last lap.
P9 is Mr. Bumcrack for Kraken Esports. Another independent in the form of Heafy for P10. Thunder Artsy P11 for Symmetry Motorsports, and a Blind Man tonight for Hooncorp, rounding out our grid tonight in P12.
Pointing out, Swayze must have had a moment on that last, because he was sitting close behind that battle for third.
I am completely not
Finished
sure
out in
as
seventh.
to what happened tonight. So,
Interesting.
looking in the YouTube chat, Driver of the Day, Hodes with the one stop from Robert Rice. Mid-pack Hack is going Hodes. Keza, Driver of the Day, Hodes. Debrev, Driver of the Day, Hodes. Alright, I'm just going to put it out there now. I agree completely with the YouTube chat. Hodes for my Driver of the Day nomination tonight, running the one-stop strategy and making a podium. Need I say more? Probably a little bit fortunate that weather did not play its part tonight in making that work. But the man gambled and didn't roll a snake eyes in... Yeah. I don't know what a good dice roll is. I'm not a gambler. So he came up with double sixes, or he rolled a 7. I don't know. Either way, it worked for him and got himself on the podium tonight. Renegade, what do you think?
I'm actually in agreement with that as well. Like, to pull off a one stop and especially 15 laps on one tank, that's fuel saving beyond what I could have thought of. So yeah, no, definitely. And to spell, I mean, he started what, from P9 and to finish on the podium with pulling off a one stop. So yeah, that gets my driver of the day.
Certainly can't disagree with that. What else do we have? Got a late nomination from Madrick for Scooter for driver of the day. But I think the consensus is fairly solid in terms of Hodes is your driver of the day today for Division 2. So, ladies and gentlemen, we will take a very short intermission, and so go take a toilet break, grab some fresh snacks, grab a fresh drink, and we will be back very, very shortly for our Division 1 race. Thank you very much for tuning in and stick with us, and also thank you very much to Renegade for being our race director tonight. Much appreciated, mate.
You're welcome. Thank you. It was a pleasure to host. It was some good racing.
It was a pleasure to have you here. All right, let us take an intermission and we will be back. Don't go away, or something exciting like that. I'm not sure.
Stay tuned for more action if you enjoyed that.
We're ready.
Gentlemen, again, back after that rather pleasant mission. Not going to lie. Joining now, Mission 1. Revs, how are you?
Yeah, doing well, man. Glad to be here. Good to see the Div 1 race, and it's good to have GTR back, too. That'd be
I
another good one.
have just realised that I forgot to unmute my own microphone, so the poor audience would have heard not a single word that I just said. So,
Ooh.
to be honest, not the greatest tragedy. But yes, we are back, and I have Revs here tonight with me as our race director for the Division 1 race. So, how have things been looking in practice tonight, Revs? Anyone in particular setting the timesheets alight, or has it been multiple drivers setting the timesheets on fire?
Actually, it's been really quiet. I don't think anyone's going to give out their hand before it's played. Everyone was staying around in the 31s pretty much. So I believe there'll be a few 29s tonight. So
A little bit of sandbagging going on.
Yeah, for sure. I don't think anyone wants to give anything away.
I like it. I like it. So, I guess without any further ado, should we kick off qualifying so we don't keep the drivers or the audience tonight waiting?
Yeah, let me give them the warning first.
I am very looking forward to our Division 1 race tonight, because I have seen some times being set by guys earlier in the week, and I'm not going to lie, I'm insanely jealous.
Yeah, they're pretty fast. All right, I'm ready to go when you are.
All right, let's get into it then. Let us kick off qualifying.
Can't miss my button. It's pink with purple polka dots.
It seems to be a thing with the pink buttons tonight.
Got the sandblaster out for that metallic pink they had on there before, and it just wouldn't go anywhere, so I just put some polka dots.
Fair enough. I can't say I'm against it. Alright, let's get this party started. First out on track, we have Karen Unleashed, the team owner over at Switchblade Sim Sports. It's a very feisty looking pack, so I'm going to try and work through them as quick as I can. Got the team followed by the team owner of Dadson Racing, Mr. Dadson himself, followed by my boy Ricky Bobby for APR Motorsports. I'm not going to call him that, I'm just going to call him GTR. Back in Division 1, he'll be very happy about that, for Blacklight Motorsports in that absolutely gorgeous tyre power livery. Yes, I'm going to continue saying that for every round because it is absolutely beautiful. Fifth out on track is my other boy, Lenosis, over at APR Motorsports. Very closely followed by, I'm not sure if he's the BSR number 1 or number 2 driver. I will let those guys fight over that in the form of Mountain Goat. Seventh out on track at the moment, who has let Mr. John. Alright, this is just mucking up my order, so let's go back up a little bit for Doghouse Motorsport. We've got Evil Evo in the beautiful green entry. Another beautiful green entry for Lightning Motorsports is John, aka Champ, and he's going to hate me for that. He's followed on track by his Lightning Motorsport team owner Stickers, aka Lightning McQueen. We've got the other driver for BSR in the form of Foss. Very closely followed by, I believe it's, a good mate, I would say, for the other driver for Blacklight. Foss, Nif, my bad. Dropped a little bit further down on track is Young Wacky for Kraken Esports. He'll be probably looking to have a strong performance tonight, I would say. In tow is his old man, actually. So you got the young fella and the older fella. Line astern on track for Black Rose Motorsport, Black Rose Racing, my bad. And rounding out our grid tonight is CPJ for CP Motorsports.
There is one more. First position, Ricky Bobby. He jumped up when you were going down, so you missed him. That's all.
Oh no, I did get Ricky Bobby.
Oh, did you? No,
Yes.
then my bad.
Yep. I will show a little bit of bias. I will make sure to give some TV time to both of my teammates. Not gonna lie, I am biased like that, but too bad. Deal with it. As he does set a rather rapid first flyer, which is very quickly beaten by his teammate in the form of Lenosis, who drops a 129.9 first flyer. Only
Very nice.
500ths ahead of Goatee, who's dropped a 29.96, but the fact that these guys are in the 29s on their first flyer is disgusting.
Phenomenal.
Yeah, yes, phenomenal. Yes, that's exactly what I mean.
Ooh, Karen Unleashed into the wall.
Oh dear, that's not gone well. I was having a chat with Karen tonight earlier in the chat room, and from what I can tell, he will be happy with a top 10 tonight, which I think is perfectly achievable.
Yeah, there's a big question mark whether or not we're going to get that rain later. Either you're going to race for it, or you're just going to race like it's going to be dry for the whole race and hope it doesn't come in. But yeah, it's almost a toss of a coin.
Could we see a repeat of the Category 2 round from last week, where Div 4 got no rain, and then the heavens opened for the Div 3 guys?
That was the heaviest of all my practices. That was the heaviest it rained that day, and yeah, it was quite a handful.
Out of all my practices, that was the only time it rained.
Ooh, yeah, fair enough.
Alright, we've seen a couple of early hitters in the form of both APR boys chucking on a fresh set of boots. We got the BSR Foss, and I'm also seeing a nickname of BSR Nif, even though he drives Blacklight, so I'm going to try and avoid the confusion tonight. I'm going to ignore the team name at the start, and I'm just going to go with the Foss and Nif. Back out on track. Young Wacky, he's on a hot lap. Currently sitting P7. He's done a 130.4. As he comes into Blind Man, he is purple by 0.04 of a second. But he does have a... I'm looking at the colour of wheels, trying to work out which of my teammates it is. I think it's Ricky Bobby. Yep, they're black wheels. That is definitely Ricky Bobby.
TR is purple,
Oh, hello.
and he's already done a 129.6, 4.8.
Yeah, he is on a mission tonight to prove that he is not only back in Div 1, but he's a force to be reckoned with here. He's coming around the Pirelli Parabolica as he
He's
pulls
going
into the pits.
and he was purple going into the pits.
Oh, Lenosis P2 currently has a half-second penalty. That is going to, well, it's on his out lap, but that is going to mess up his next lap as well. So that might bring it to a bit of a clutch situation for him in terms of qualifying. Mountain Goat coming out of the pits, currently sitting P3. Does a smart thing, gets on the brakes, well out of the way. Doesn't want to impede anyone. Good situational awareness.
Great race.
My other boy, Ricky Bobby, currently P4. How's he looking through Sector 1? Is he up on his time? Oh no, he's a couple of tenths down. Radio, moving along. P5 at the moment. Foss for Brocky 05 Sim Racing. Coming through Blind Man. Oh, he's a couple of hundreds down on his time. He can bring that back from here. at the moment, I'm actually surprised that there's a certain name missing from the top 8 in the form of the champ, aka John. He is... Well, he's got his team owner at the moment sitting in P8, so that's a great effort from Stickers, who is on an outlap at the moment, so we won't see any indicative laps from him. So we are scrolling down through the order, and John's going to hate me right now when he hears this, because he is currently P14 with Karen ahead of him. Now, if I know John, he's not going to be happy about that. He's not going to take too kindly, so keep an eye out on him. He's currently 1.2 seconds up on his best time at the moment, which is a 1:33.1. He's coming through Sawtooth. A little bit wiggly on the exit. Coming into the Pirelli Parabolica. Got less than a minute and a half to go, so I dare say this will be his last lap. Well, next lap will be the last one, as he sets a 1:30.018, which puts him up into P5. So he is well and truly clear of Karen. That'll make him happy.
GTR's purple through the first sector.
Oh my. As he comes through Slingshot, he will have a little bit of a slingshot here. It looks like he's going to have a tow from... hazarding a guess that it is Evil Evo. He's 2/10 purple through the second sector. He's a man on a mission here. He's done a 29.6. Could we see a 29.4? He's got the slipstream, so if he can nail the Parabolica, he will make it possibly a 29.3 happen.
It's looking good. And he's got the stream.
He comes across the line. 29.3.
Oh, wow.
Oof.
Next
Okay.
level.
That is slipstream assisted, but that is still stupidly quick. As young Wakey puts himself onto P2, if you don't mind, with a 129.669. And he's still got one more lap to improve on that. Glenosis coming through Istanbul, sitting P3 at the moment. Let's see how he's looking coming through the first sector split. Oh, he's 2/10 down, not great. With his teammate Ricky Bobby currently sitting P4. The APR boys have locked out the second row of the grid at the moment over the two BSR boys. Goatee just ahead of his teammate by 200ths, so there is, I believe the technical term is sweet bugger all. As Foss comes through the second sector, he's up on his best by 3/10. I think Goatee might be up on his time as well. He's got a cheeky slipstream from his teammate, so this could be looking good for the BSR boys. They're both coming around the Parabolica now onto the main straight. Let's see how they go. Foss currently P6. Can he move himself up? Bang, P2. And Goatee just improves a little bit, puts himself into P5. So there was a fantastic last minute effort there from the BSR guys, avoiding the second row lockout from APR. They have to... Goatee's going to have to share the third row with Ricky Bobby. Young Wacky's got himself into P3. And I'm pretty sure that is all she... Oh no. Evil Evo's coming across the line. He's had a bit of a horror lap, that last one. I'm pretty sure that is all she wrote for qualifying. So we shall just take a look at those final qualifying results as I can push the right button. There we go. Blacklight Motorsport GTR with a 129.372. That is stupidly quick. We are knocking on the doors of a 28. Last-ditch effort there for BSR in the form of Foss sharing the front row of the grid. The second row of the grid is Young Wacky and Lenosis. Third row of the grid is Mountain Goat and Ricky Bobby. John getting relegated back to P7, sharing the fourth row of the grid with Nif. I'm not sure if he will complain about that too much. Just behind him is his team owner, Stickers in P9, P10, CPJ, P11, Old Wakey, and P12, Dadson, and rounding out our grid tonight, Evil Evo in P13 and Karen in P14. Probably not running as quickly as he would like, but he will definitely put on a solid race performance tonight for us all, I do believe. So while we just get the drivers sorted on the grid, YouTube chat, throw in your podium predictions for me. I'd like to see what you guys think.
Well, I'm going to be a little bit biased. I'm going to go with GTR because I think he's back in Div 1. I think he's in his little element here, and I think he might have a point to prove. But the wild card will be the race. Will be the rain later in the race.
I do agree with you there. I don't think GDR is here to procreate with arachnids tonight. I think he is definitely coming out with a point to prove. So, other predictions for a podium? It's kind of hard to go past the BSR boys. But I'm just going to go generic. I'm just going to put the podium, the top three tonight will be GDR, Foss, and Wacky. I really want to be biased to my teammates, but I'm just going to go very boring tonight.
GTR, Mountain Goat, Lenosis.
Oh, I like it. I like it. Well,
but with that rain out there, it's still anyone's game.
Oh, yes. Yes, indeed. Well, should we stop with the guessing games and get into the action?
Sure. Ready to go?
I like it. I am good to go when you are, sir.
Button pressed, 8 seconds.
Excellent. Just a quick reminder to all the viewers in the chat, please hit the like button, subscribe, you know the deal. As we are lining up on the grid now. Alright, 1 light, 2 light, 3 light, 4 lights, 5 lights, ready to drop that clutch. And we are underway. It is a very smooth start, almost sedate start. As we are looking, Young Wakey is having a look at the inside, gets the inside run on Foss at the tabletop, makes the move stick. Foss doesn't fight it too hard, settles in behind.
Little slip by Detz. Seems to recover well.
John's made hay while the sun shines. He's made his way up into P5 off the start. He's got past the 2 APR boys. I don't think they'll be too happy about that. But for the most part, it seems pretty smooth. It's a rather sedate-looking train of cars at the moment. Nobody's getting too aggressive, which is good, which is good. Young Wacky looking
Ricky Bobby and Lenosis.
Very squirmy coming out of the slingshot. It's all looking pretty smooth so far for lap 1. No major incidents, which is fantastic to see.
Great. Awesome race start.
Oh, Stickers is an absolute missile in a straight line. He's having a look down the inside of Lenosis at the tabletop. Lenosis is a little bit squirmy. And unfortunately, due to that, has lost a couple of positions to Stickers and Niff. Just could not get the power down coming out of the tabletop. I've got to put my team bias aside. Ricky Bobby, P6 at the moment, having a bit of a ring-a-ding battle with John. Not sure how hard you want to be fighting this early on in the race, because there is a little bit of a gap between John and Mountain Goat in P4. So if you waste too much time fighting, that gap's only going to get bigger. And Mountain Goat is in the slipstream of his teammate Foss, so it's fairly safe to say those two are going to work together to try and reel in both Wacky and GTR. They're not that far ahead, there's only 7/10 in it at the moment. GTR currently with the fastest lap. Well, there's only been one lap, so how can he not? Let's see how he goes for the next one. What's the first flyer? Sets a 1:30.000. A 1:30 dead first flyer. Wow. Okay. Right. Yep. Definitely not here to muck around.
No.
Two BSR boys locking out third and fourth on the podium at the moment. John P5 managed to put a little bit of a gap on Ricky Bobby. It's sunny skies here at Dragon Trails at the moment, but as we've seen throughout multiple lobbies, that is not always a guarantee to continue for the entire race. It's all fairly single file and calm at the moment. This is a bit surprising for mine. Niff into P7. Well, I think Stickers has had a bit of a moment. He's dropped out. Lenosis is back into P8. Oh, Stickers is well off the back of the pack. Oh dear. It's in P14 at the moment. Nearly 7 seconds off the back of Evil Evo, so looks like he's had a bit of a horror lap 3, which is a bit of a shame. It's alright, keep your head down, keep clawing along, pick up the points and the team points. Nice hot little battle here in 11th, 12th and 13th with Old Wakey, Dadson and Evil Evo. Too wide going through tabletop. Evil Evo looking to chuck the nose down the inside into Istanbul. No doing, says Dadson. Karen runs very, very wide coming out of there. Nearly takes himself out on the curb. Dadson is Morse coding the back of that Black Rose bumper for Old Wakey. Nothing too aggressive, just a little bit of a, hey, I'm here, how you going? Whoop. Oh, parks car on the apex in a slingshot. Says no thank you to Evil Evo for an overtake maneuver. As we shall check
Watching
back
a few
in.
of these guys playing with those sausages. That's danger territory. I don't care how good you are, playing with them sausages could send that car flying.
Oh yes, you will get airborne. Back up the front, GDR's just maintaining a half-second gap back to Young Wacky, who's got a not quite comfortable gap of 7/10 back to Foss and Mountain Goat. A little bit of a gap between those two as well, nearly a second, so maybe Foss has just got the edge over the kid in terms of race pace. Or maybe Mountain Goat's just hanging back to act as a rear gunner. He's he's got just under 2 seconds back to John, who has my boy Ricky Bobby still hanging in tow. He's within half a second, so he's got the slipstream. He could just be looking to save a little bit of fuel in the main stint and try and make his way past John in the pits, which in a race like this tonight, not exactly a bad strategy.
No, I'm impressed with Wakey. I mean, considering who he's racing with, how calm and cool he stays, I think he's matured a lot in his last 2 seasons.
Oh, most definitely. His both his pace and his racecraft have come along in leaps and bounds. I can remember it was only a couple of seasons ago that I was racing in the same division as him. Okay, okay, he beat me then, but that's beside the point. I was in the same division as a young fella, and now he's 2 divisions ahead of me, so I will contain my jealousy and wish him all the best of luck. As he's just maintaining that half-second gap to GDR, he could just be looking to just keep within slipstream range, save a bit of fuel. Be interesting to see what kind of strategies these guys run tonight, because like we said, the weather's looking clear and sunny at the moment, but that may change later on in the race as we get into sort of like the lap 18, 19 kind of territory. Keep an eye on the skies, I think. Foss has closed up the gap a little bit. He's down to 6/10 behind Young Wacky. Down and Goat has dropped back a little bit off his teammate. He's out to 1.2 seconds now. Still sitting very consistent lap times in the mid to very low 130s. Currently Foss is holding the fastest lap with a 1:29.983, which is that's a qualifying type pace in the race. Very nicely done. He set that 2 laps ago on lap 4.
Something happened to Karen.
Oh dear, has Karen had a bit of a moment? Oh, he is... Oh, that has... Yep. Lap 5, a 1:56.9. Yep, that has not gone well for Karen. He's well off the back of stickers, so his aspirations for a top 10 finish tonight may not come to fruition, unfortunately. Stickers is doing alright.
Goat and Foss are having a talk with each other.
Stickers has managed to close the gap back up to Old Wakey in P12 to a couple of seconds, so I'll keep an eye on that later on in the race. Yeah, and as you said, Mountain Goat is right on the back of Foss. It would not take a genius to work out that those two will definitely be in a voice chat together on the team comms, communicating to each other what their intentions are. There is nothing wrong with a good bit of teammates working together to achieve the best result. And they've certainly shown.
Oh, I'm all for it.
They've certainly shown this season that they can do that. Because they do have a very comfortable 2.5 second gap back to John, who still has Ricky Bobby lurking there or thereabouts within slipstream. He will be pretty happy, I think, currently sitting in P6 tonight. And he's got 1.5 seconds back to Nif, who is one of our Category 1 controller drivers, and that continues to astound me how guys like Nif and Woody can more than hold their own in the upper class on a controller when everyone else is on wheels. Like, I've tried driving with controller and I can't do it.
Yeah, I started on controller, auto first, and then I went to manual, and then when I got into sector 1, I got the wheel. Took a little while, but yeah, the wheel's much better.
I think you might have some arguments to that statement from both Niff and Woody, but as far as I'm concerned, just use whatever works best for you.
Yeah, I found it really difficult to save tires with the controller. It was much easier to do that on the wheel.
That is definitely a handicap that controller drivers have, is tyre wear. But I think it's just something you've got to take into account and just accept. And Niff has pulled out quite the gap as well, back to P8 with Lenosis, who is about to have CPJ for very close company. But seeing as we're on lap 9, we should probably kick over to an APR tyre and fuel update. How about that?
Yep, sure. Yep.
Let's do that.
Okay, starting with GTR. He looks like he's used 60% of his front left tire. He's got exactly a quarter of a tank, and he's looking good. Let's see, Wakey. He's used a little bit more than half of his tire front left, and he's got just a touch under a quarter of a tank. Foss is looking pretty good. He's only used about 40% of his tire, and he's got a little over a quarter of a tank of fuel. I think he's doing quite well out of the top 3. Mountain Goat, he's got half a front left tire, and he's looking good, the best out of all of them so far with the fuel. Maybe 28%, 29%. John 27, he's got 50% tire wear and just over a quarter of a tank. Ricky Bobby, he's got half a tire and just under a quarter of a tank of fuel left. BSR Niff, he's used a lot of his tire. He's hurting, but he's actually on his way into the pit now.
Goat comes into the pits along with Lenosis.
Yeah, Goat on 28, Niff on 18, Lenosis on 17. Here we go. Where are we?
Back to we have that's thrown a spanner in the works. So
we're back to CPJ 50.
Yep.
Yeah. His tires are looking really good. Looks like he's only used maybe 20% of his tires. He's got a lot there, and he's well under a quarter of a tank, maybe 20%, 22%. Evil Evo, he's got half a front left tire, and he's probably got maybe 22% left in his fuel. Datsun, he's looking really good on his front left tire, and he's just under a quarter of a tank. Old Wakey's used about 60% of his front left, and he's just under a quarter of a tank of fuel. Stickers, his tires are really hurting, probably the worst in the field. Probably maybe 70% used, and an eighth of a tank. Mountain Goat, he's doing fine with a fresh new pair of tires, and he went out with just over 3/4 of a tank. And
we've got
same
our
as
top 3, our top 3 just pitting now, so at the end of lap 10, so it looks like they're going for the non-rain dance strategy. Sorry, continue on, my bad.
Oh, you're fine. We were at NIF, like fresh tires. He's all ready to set and go, but he only took maybe 90% of fuel. He didn't go full on with a full tank, so he must be thinking something's going to happen, or he's going to readjust himself later. Lenosis, he's done the same. He's on halfway between 3/4 and full, and fresh pair of tires. And I think that's everybody.
We did miss Karen back in P14.
Karen, there we go. Yep, he's in 11th at the moment, and yeah, he's still going around. He's got just under a quarter of a tank, and his tires aren't so bad. He still has 60% of a tire left. He's only used about 40% of that, so.
Rightio, thank you very much, Rebs, for our APR tyre and fuel update. Beautiful. So, there will be one very happy man on track at the moment, and that is in the form of John, who is our provisional leader at the moment. Now, has he pitted?
No, his tires are looking. Yeah.
Okay, but he won't care about that minor detail. He'll be saying, I'm in front, I am winning, I am leading this race. Now, it looks like he's going to be... Well, he's kept Ricky Bobby with him. Ricky Bobby is having a look, or shows a nose at the tabletop. Now, Ricky Bobby has not pitted either. Am I correct in saying that?
Correct. Yeah, and his fuel's flashing compared to John's only just started flashing now.
Right, so they're running... Those two are going to be running a fairly similar, an identical strategy, most likely pitting at the end of lap 12, and then I would say again at the end of lap 24. So they're running the rain dance strategy, which, looking at the skies, it's a little bit hazy, but there's no real cloud cover going on at the moment. So it's safe to say that these two, being on the fuel light, will be in the pits at the end of this lap. Currently in P3, who's just got purple through the first sector, is Mountain Goat, who has jumped both his teammate Foss and GTR in the pits. And Goaty currently has the fastest lap with a 1:29.946 set on the previous lap, lap 11. So he's lit the afterburners, the young fella. He's probably told his teammate, look, this is what I'm doing, I'll see you at the finish line. And he's 1.5 tenths purple going into the Sawtooth chicane. Avoids the first curb, hits the second one, gets a beautiful drive, a little bit squirmy, but still fast. Wide sweeping line into the Pirelli Parabolica. Uses nearly all of the curb, and will we see a new fastest lap? No, he's a little bit down that one. As Ricky Bobby is into the pits, and John is going around again. That is, do you think John's maybe doing a one-stop?
Well, he definitely looks like he's going to need the pit on the next lap. I can't see him going for another one after that, and he's only got maybe 6% left on that front left.
Right,
and,
so
yeah.
the tyres are toast and the fuel situation's not great. So he might be doing a 13-12 kind of strategy. I don't think he's going to be doing a Hodes with, like we saw in the Division 2 race, pulling an absolute masterstroke with a one-stop strategy.
And Ricky Bobby went new tires and a full tank of fuel. He didn't short fuel this time, so he's looking for the long run, I think.
Foss currently sitting P3. He's pulled out a 1.5 second gap over GDR. How's the fuel situation between Foss and GDR? Is there much of a difference?
Yes, there is. GTR is right on 3/4 of a tank of fuel, and Foss, 50, maybe 60%. So just over.
So Foss managed to jump GDR by slightly short fueling.
Yes, I think so.
Rightio, as John pulls into the pits, he's refueling now. Foss goes past, GDR's past, young Wacky still in touch. It's only 1.2 seconds behind GDR, currently sitting in P4 at the moment. He's having a really good race. Nif currently sitting in P5. That will be making a Mr. Good Dog, team owner of Blacklight Motorsport, very, very happy.
John went with a fresh pair of softs and a full tank. He didn't short fuel, so he's looking for the long run as well.
My boy Lenosis currently sitting P6. My other boy, Ricky Bobby, P7. Not too bad, 6th and 7th on track at the moment. Not far behind him, CPJ. P9 for Black Rose is Old Wakey. Putting in a very solid, very quiet drive tonight. John's currently sitting P10 on track. He's got Evil Evo looking very, very racy behind him.
Mountain Goat's pulling away a little bit. 4 seconds in front, 4.5 seconds. That's moving. He's not slowing down. You know, he got into the 29s and he's got a taste of the
Those last
speed
few
force.
laps. Those last few laps are 130.09, 29.7, 30.1, 29.9. Yep. A little bit down on the first sector of this lap, but he's probably just reeling it in just to keep that tyre usage and the fuel usage to a manageable level, because it's probably fair to say that these BSR boys know their numbers and how to run to them. Currently sitting 1-2, but Foss has got a very feisty looking GDR for company right now, coming out of the slingshot onto the back straight. If he's not careful, he might have something to say about that on the main straight. They both come into the sawtooth. Nothing untoward there, very clean lines, good to see. Good exits from both drivers. GDR's going to have the advantage of the slipstream down the straight, but what is it, half a second? Tell you what, he's in the slipstream and that gap is not coming down. I think that's probably an indicator of the different setups the guys have on this track, have on their cars. Foss might just be running a lot less downforce. They come into Istanbul, very similar lines. Oh, GDR's a little bit wide there. It's cost him a couple of tenths. He's not going to be happy about that.
He caught the vehicle well, got back in control very nicely. One thing here is the ripple strips are so difficult sometimes, and it's really easy to make a mistake.
What do you mean
car
sometimes?
Control here, yeah, car control here. If you can make a mistake and keep control of your car, you'll keep doing well. It's just those ripple strips with the sawtooth on the ends, and they just bounce you around everywhere, and very dangerous. It's one of the more dangerous tracks, I believe, in GT7.
That one right there, that sausage curb, the right-hander going into the sawtooth. You hit that, your car is going to the moon.
Yeah, I had that problem in my last race.
I found that one out in practice and went, yep, not touching that one. The left-handed one, yeah, you could straddle that one, not a problem. But that right-handed one, I'm staying well away from. I don't care who you are or what you say.
Yeah, especially when the track starts to get a little wet, the ripple strips become a nightmare.
Speaking of which, there is a little bit of mist rolling in from the mountains here. The track's gotten very hazy all of a sudden.
And the lights are on.
We're on to lap 17. Things are starting to get a little bit dark. Young Wacky here having a great performance tonight. He's still within touch of Foss and GDR. He's still there or thereabouts.
Evo. And John going at it. Side by side.
Oh, there you go. Side by side in Istanbul. Oh, the elbows were out there, I think. John has done the switch back. He's taken that spot back.
Whoa.
That's looking very spicy there between the Lightning Motorsport and Doghouse drivers.
Great racing.
As we will see if we can catch that on our Liquid Solutions action replay, if I can get things done correctly as they come into the corner entry. No quarter given by either driver, but very clean, respectful, but very hard-nosed at the same time. I love to see it. John hangs on to that P10. He's running, I I don't know if I call it the alternate strategy here tonight, but he's certainly running a different strategy to the rest of the drivers around him. So I think it might take the second round of pit stops for everything to work itself out and to give us a clearer idea of where exactly he is. But in the meantime, he's not wanting to muck around, as he's got Old Wakey in front of him, P9, and he has certainly locked his sights onto him and wants to make up as many positions as he possibly can. So coming out of Istanbul, Old Wakey holding that let me get my words out. Holding the defensive line, coming into blind man. Certainly making that Black Rose car as wide as possible as John is looking for a way past. Through Salsa, into turn 9. Will he have it? He chucks it down the inside at the braking zone, a slingshot. Parks it on the apex and gets the drive out. Textbook maneuver. Lovely, lovely work. Up into P9. Holds a defensive line down the back straight. Doesn't want to give Old Wakey a look in for the sawtooth braking zone. Yeah, he's put himself well clear. I'd say he's got fresher tyres than Old Wakey. Having pitted was it lap 13 I think he pitted on? Yep, lap 13, going by his lap times. How are we doing back up the front? It is currently a BSR 1-2 with Mountain Goat, having put 3.5 seconds on his teammate, who runs a little bit wide there on the exit of Istanbul.
Yeah, well, he was over 4 seconds, but his fuel light's flashing, so I expect him in either probably at the end of this lap. And the one that's surprising, GTR still has a quarter of a tank, and he's used about 60% of his tire, but I expect him to take over the lead if Mountain Goat's going to go in. He must be setting himself up for a
I have noticed that traditionally GTR tends to take on a little bit extra fuel compared to the other drivers around him.
Yep.
I'm not sure whether he's a fuel burning monster or whether he likes to have that safety buffer, or possibly a combination of both. But it is something I've noticed, and it's probably fair to say that Goaty has just pulled into the pits now. He's got 1% fuel, so he does not have a choice. Foss is going around again. GDR is in the pits with 20% fuel. Interesting. He's decided to pull the trigger on lap 20.
Foss's lap times pretty consistent from lap 19 all the way back to lap 12. And I think he pitted on 10, I think.
What have we got? A 30.9, 30.6, 30.4, 30.3, 30.3, 30.6, 30.4, 30.2. Oh my goodness, that is
impressive.
That is very impressive. Not just quick, but super consistent as well. Another solid drive here tonight, Wakey, currently P2. Gotta say, I'm very happy to see at the moment. Ricky Bobby, currently P3. How's he looking for fuel? Would we expect to see him in at the end of this lap, or?
No, he looks like he might. If he does it right, he might make it to the end without having to pit.
Wait, what?
Yeah, he's looking really well. A third of a tank, and he's got over a half a tire, so he's probably got maybe almost 60% of a tire. So
third of a tank to do 9 laps. I'm not sure about that.
Well, we watched What's He Do 15 laps earlier, and he did it on a drag. So I don't know. He surprised me when he did the 15 laps earlier. So
well, he goes around again. As Foss and Wakey are in. And Ricky Bobby inherits the lead of the race, so I'm just going to give him a little bit of TV time there in P1. Hashtag team bias.
77% for Foss.
Mountain Goat and Foss come out. P2, P3 on track.
Ooh. GTR all over Foss.
Yeah. GDR is looking very racy, very, very quickly. Knows he needs a track position, needs to get in front. Not sure if Istanbul is the place to do it. He might disagree with me. He disagrees with me. Get stuffed, Carbon Boy, says GDR. As he makes a beautiful move down the inside of Foss at Istanbul. Yeah, look, I'm going to have to show that on our Liquid Solutions action replay because that was beautiful. He's got one hand on the steering wheel and one finger out the window, giving it to me in the comms box, just saying, I can't overtake through Istanbul, watch me. And not a lot Foss can do there. That was, yeah, that was a good move, not going to lie. So GDR picks himself up to P3 on track at the moment, which I do anticipate another pit stop from Ricky Bobby, so that will be P2 effectively on track.
I think he's hoping for rain. If the rain comes, it puts him in a prime spot because that means everybody might have to pit as well. So depending on how much rain comes down.
Well, we do expect the rain in the later stages of this race, probably another 2 to 3 laps from now. And the skies are looking pretty dark. It is a little bit misty. Just looking a little further back down the field, we've got Nif, Blacklight Motorsport, sitting in P6. He's a little bit of no man's land behind that top 5. There's a 12-second gap up to Young Wakey in P5. He's got 2 seconds back to Lenosis in P7. And I don't think John will be happy about this. He's in P8 at the moment behind Lenosis. And I've been in a few party chats with those two throughout the weeks, and yeah, there's a lot of very good-natured banter going back and forth between those two. So they are very competitive. And there's a lot of talk, so it's usually up to race day to let the results speak for themselves. Solid performance tonight also goes to CPJ, currently running around in P9. He's kept his head down, kept himself out of trouble. And not far behind him as well is Evil Evo, just quietly going about his business, P10. Oh, as we have seen Old Wakey have a massive moment and loops it coming out of the Sawtooth chicane. And completely spins the car before the Pirelli Parabolica. We shall take a look at that on our action replay. Now he's come through Sawtooth. I think he's just dropped an outside rear wheel over the ripple strips on the exit of the Sawtooth, and that has not done good things for his level of traction, unfortunately. That is unfortunate to see. But he's picked himself up and he's continuing on, which is good to see. Checking back in up the front. You've got Ricky Bobby still going around.
Fuel lights now flashing.
Yep, so he's probably going to be in at the end of this lap, which is lap 24. Mountain Goat set an even fastest lap with a 29.7. That is disgustingly quick. GDR's managed to pull a little bit of a gap to Foss. He's got 7/10 there. Gap to Goaty is 1.2 seconds. There's Goat. GDR uses all of the track on the entrance to Istanbul. Got the Blacklight driver splitting the BSR boys. reckon the good doc will be in the YouTube chat, screaming and yelling. He will be loving this. Young Wakey has dropped off these top 4 a little bit. It's in P5. But he has a country mile and a half back to Nif in P6, who is slowly but surely getting some company in the form of Lenosis. He's only 7/10 off the bumper of the other Blacklight driver. As Ricky Bobby comes into the pits at the end of lap 24. I think it might be safe to say that while there are some clouds in the sky, I don't think any of them will contain any water that will be coming onto the track tonight. Let's keep an eye on Ricky Bobby. How does he go? He's still in the pits.
57.
He's been jumped by Nif and Lenosis. And he comes outside by... Oh, John just sweeps around the outside of the tabletop. So, John and Ricky Bobby resume the position that they left off prior to their respective pit stops. They are line astern and continue their battle. And is it just me, or is John driving around with his hazard lights on?
Yes, you.
Just me? Okay. I swear I spotted them earlier.
Might have, but he's not running them with them now.
Roger, roger. Oh, Ricky Bobby has a look. Oh, that is a big look. Oh, it runs wide. John pulls the switch
Very
back.
wide.
Gets a fantastic drive out of the slingshot hairpin and says, thank you very much. I'll have that position back. Oh, bit of lights flashing going on from Ricky Bobby. I'm not entirely sure about that. Let's have a look at the action replay and see if we can spot anything. Oh, no, I don't think there was anything untoward there. Continue on as you were, gentlemen. So currently Mountain Goat out in P1, gap's still down to 1.2 seconds back to GDR. He's got 1 second over Foss in P3. A semi-comfortable 2.8 second back to Young Wakey in P4. He's got a very, very comfortable 14-second gap back to Nif, who still has Lenosis within slipstream range for company. And John is probably not particularly happy about being in an APR sandwich right now and wants to get out of that. But in the meantime, we will keep our eyes up front. Mountain Goat still holds the lead, but that gap is come down a 10th. As we come on to lap 27, 3 laps to go. I'm seeing some very dark looking clouds coming over the mountains there. Could there be some very last minute rain that happens here? Because that would throw a very big spanner in the works for everybody in this race, I think.
Yes, it would.
That would cause some chaos, and not gonna lie, I'm all for a little bit of chaos. When I'm not the one driving, of course.
Say that.
So Young Goaty's also been putting in a solid performance in terms of lap times as well. 30.7, 30.3, 30.3, 30.3, 30.5, 30.8. Oof. He's doing a very credible effort. He's holding that gap just around the second mark, just on the edge of slipstream. Foss, P3's brought that gap down, just down to 7/10. A little bit of a wiggle there coming out of the sawtooth, which cost him a couple of tenths. That's going to hurt him coming onto the straight, but he is within slipstream, so not going to be close enough to have a move at the tabletop, unfortunately. But he's just there or thereabouts to keep GDR looking in his mirrors, not just looking ahead to attack. He's making GDR very aware that he's got to play the defensive game as well.
You have to say GTR brought that couple of second lead down from Goody, and he's inside of a half a second now, so
Oh, it's got
watch out for GTR.
It's gotten spicy back here in P5. Lenosis is right on the rear bumper of Nif coming into Istanbul. No moves to be made there. And his teammate has made it, Ricky Bobby has made his way past John. So up into P7 for Ricky Bobby. John running a 132.3 on that previous lap, so it looks like he's probably had a bit of a moment, which has cost him that P7 spot. So we've got the APR boys running line astern, chasing down the blacklight driver in the form of Nif. But we shall go back over to the other blacklight driver in the form of GDR, still sitting P2. He's got that gap down to 0.6 of a second to young Goody. He's on the final lap. He's certainly got some work to do.
Very impressive down to the final lap, and they're 1 second apart in the top three, and you can't get much closer than that.
Slap lunge here. We're going to see any heroic movements. They're all looking very racy, all very clean. The weather has not played its part in the race tonight. So they've got a couple of corners left to make a move, GDR. He's got a very good drive out of the slingshot hairpin there. Goaty's running the defensive line. Pulls out for the sawtooth. I think it's going to be down to who makes the least amount of mistakes here, as GDR's just made a little one there, and that has allowed Foss to get right up on his rear bumper as they come through the Pirelli Parabolica. I don't think it'll be enough, as by the smallest of margins here, Mountain Goat has managed to hang on for the win. Very closely followed by GTR and Foss. Young Wakey fourth across the line. Nif, I think, will just hang on to P5 as he's coming around the Parabolica now. He's got both the APR boys very close in tow. That will be a very happy Blacklight team owner, I think. Two guys in the top five. Ricky Bobby P6. Oh wait, Ricky Bobby's taken P6. Lenosis P7.
Yes.
John P8, CPJ P9, Evil Evo crosses the line for P10, Stickers brings himself back to P11, Dadson, probably not his happiest moment tonight, P12, Old Wakey, as we saw earlier, had that massive moment coming out of the sawtooth, P13, and unfortunately not making his top 10 aspirations tonight. Coming into the sawtooth now, so let's give him a little bit of TV time as a consolation prize. Karen for Switchblade Simsports, Motorsports, I'm not sure which, it's one of the sports. As he comes around the Parabolica for the final time, I think he will be very happy to see this all as he nearly bins it over the outer curb. And that is all she wrote for tonight's race. Rightio. Chat people, throw in your driver of the day nominations, please, as we will go through the race results for tonight. Rightio, so in a fantastic drive from starting a little lower on the grid than he would have liked tonight, and also taking out the fastest lap for Rocky 05 Sim Racing is Mountain Goat. Closely behind in P2 and establishing his right to be back in Division 1 is GTR for Blacklight. And rounding out the podium, another BSR driver in the form of Foss, P3. Young Wakey finally getting back up to the top of the table where he more than certainly belongs for Kraken Esports. P5, Nif for Blacklight. P6, Ricky Bobby. P7, Lenosis. That'll be some very handy team points for us over at APR. Not sure how happy John is going to be with his P8. I dare say I will find out later in the post-race analysis chat. P9 for CP Motorsports, CPJ. P10, Evo from Doghouse. P11, Stickers for Lightning Motorsport. P12, Dadson for Dadson Motorsport. P13, Old Wakey for Black Rose, and P14, Karen for Switchblade, aka Butterknife. And we will just be checking in the driver of the day nominations in the chat. We've got just the one, and it's a split driver of the day nomination for GTR and Mountain Goat from Rainbow Socks. Rightio. So, going off of that, Revs, what are you thinking for driver of the day?
Well, Mountain Goat's been impressive, but I'll give it to GTR. Only because it's been a while since he's raced in Div 1, considering that he missed a race and they sent him back. And he must have been under pressure for himself. He kept it pretty good, and he stuck with Cody. So, yeah, my driver of the day will go with GTR.
I'm going to go a little bit different. I'm going to give my driver of the day nomination to Young Wacky. I think he put in a very, very solid performance tonight. He's had a... I don't know how to say this without sounding like... without sounding mean, but he's probably had not as great a season this season as he might have liked. So to see him back up in like the top 5 in Division 1, I think that's a very, very, very solid performance tonight. I kept his head down and stuck to his strategy. Probably got fairly lucky, I guess, in terms, well, along with everyone else, to be honest, in the lack of rain. But yeah, he just put in a great drive, I think, tonight. So I'm going to give him the driver of the day nomination from myself. Thank you, YouTube chat. We have a few more driver of the day nominations. We've got Debrev with Mountain Goat. We've got the Good Doctor agreeing with me. Thank you, with Young Wacky. Gurr putting in driver of the day for Mountain Goat. So I guess majority wins, unfortunately, and I'd say Mountain Goat gets the driver of the day tonight. So I don't have too much more to say, which is probably a good thing. All the audiences at home is like thinking finally he's going to shut up. So thank you everyone tonight for tuning in and watching along with us tonight. Thank you very much, Rebs, for being our race director this evening.
Thanks for having me. See you on Thursday.
It's been a pleasure. Oh, and yes, quick plug there. Don't forget that we are back with our Sector 1 Community Series this Thursday. Should you want to get involved and are not already a member of our Discord, check the YouTube, check the description of this video and you will find a link to our Discord server. Jump on in, have a look through the Community Series chat, and get involved. It will be held on Thursday evening, and I can confirm, having run that myself, is a lot of fun. So thank you again to everyone for coming along tonight, joining us. Thank you to our sponsors in the form of Liquid Solutions, Box Beauty, APR Automotive, and Adelaide Ceramic Coatings, and not to mention our long-term sponsor, Next Level Racing. Thank you for all of your support. And on that note, I am just going to sign off now because I've run out of things to say. Thank you, everyone. Good night.
Good night.